Pattern is sponsored by Little Lizard King.
All right, so good morning, ladies. This is Jessica with Miley Made Me Do It. If you have not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button right now, okay? I got time. And click your notification bells and the like button. This is Little Lizard King Alba. All right, these are the Alba shorts. So let's get started. All right, so let me show you what I have here. I am doing the waistband version. I have two front pieces here. Let's cut mirror image. It's too early. And I have two back pieces, mirror image, one waistband, and this is my binding for my legs here, okay? So let's get started. All right, so let's get started here. Let's take one, I'm gonna put this to the side, one of my back pieces and my front here. This is what I'm gonna need, okay? We're gonna put them right sides together right here at the crotch seam. Okay, and let's pin. We're gonna do the same thing for the other. Okay, so I'm gonna take these to my machine and I'm gonna do a 1/2 inch seam allowance with a stretch stitch. I will also serge off my raw ends and I'll be back. Okay, so this is what it looks like here when we have attached our front to our back, okay? So I'm just gonna take one and put it to the side here. And we're gonna start on our binding. I am doing the method 1 binding, okay? So grab your binding and just gonna turn this to the wrong side. Grab my binding. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to take my binding and I'm going to place it. Okay, so I have my shorts turned to the wrong side, all right? Grab your binding here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to take the right side of our binding and put it on the wrong side of our shorties here, all right? So what we're gonna do, let's see, this is the right side. Now, 1 inch past this, a little bit past this curve here is where we're gonna start, okay? And I'm just gonna lay this out. All right. Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take both of my short pieces and I'm going to sew a 3/8 inch seam allowance here, okay? With a stretch stitch, and I will be back. Okay, so I have my binding attached. So what we're gonna do next, I'm gonna put one to the side and I'm gonna show you just what we're gonna do. All right, so take your binding, just like this, and we're going to fold this raw end to touch this one, okay? To touch the raw end of our main fabric. And then we're going to take it and we're going to fold it over. And you can pin or you can use your clips, okay? So let's do that throughout the whole and fold it. And when you're done with both of your pieces, if you have a cover stitch, you can cover stitch your binding on. And if you don't, that's fine too. You can just use a 1/8 inch stretch long stitch, okay? All right, so let's attach our binding. Okay, so I I have my binding pin. And like I said, okay, so when you are attaching your binding, make sure you go slow, okay? And if you are doing the 1/8 inch top stitch, you just go really slow with the long stretch, with the long stitch on this edge here, okay? Don't go too fast. It is not a race, I promise, okay? So I'm going to take this to my cover stitch, and I'm going to cover stitch, and I'll be right back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have attached my binding. I'm definitely going to call the first method the cover stitch method. It's really like this if you have a cover stitch. If you don't, that's fine also. I would say that the second method will be really good for, or the first, it doesn't really matter, but I know definitely the cover stitch method is like, the first binding method is the best thing for cover stitch, because see, look, let me see if you can see this. All right, so you remember how we had attached our binding. We started from our binding on the back, attached, and then we folded to the front. So that's great, because that's how you can when you use your cover stitch, you can cover stitch on top, and you don't have to worry about getting that right, because it's already hemmed. If you got a cover stitch, you know what I'm talking about. But this is what it looks like. So now just take your shorts, and we're gonna put them right sides together. I left my pinions. All right. So we're going to pin at this U shape here. Okay, I'm gonna do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and if you have a serger, serge off your raw ends. And this doesn't fray, so that's another thing about knit that I love. Like, it does not fray. So if you don't have a serger, you don't have to. It won't fray anyway, right? Unless you want to, be all professional. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to take this to my machine, and I'm going to sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance using a stretch stitch. I'll also go ahead and serge off the raw ends, and I will show you what we're going to do next. So this is what your shorts should look like, all right, after you have attached the U shape here, okay? So now what we're going to do next is I am going to turn to the wrong side, turn this on the wrong side, and I'm going to turn my back shorts in, okay? All right, just like that. And I'm going to pin, this is going to, okay, so I'm gonna turn my back shorts in like this, okay? And I'm going to bring my front shorts, and I'm going to bring them up, okay? But it's just going to overlap by, I think that's a 1/2 inch, okay? So just overlap it by a 1/2 inch over on the, make sure. All right, overlap it a 1/2 inch here, okay? On both sides, so let's do that. It looks like I'm just going to use my binding here as my guide for my 1/2 inch, okay? Just pretty much attach it to, let it, I'll show you from the inside, let it, get that off of there, because that's going to be a problem. All right, okay, so you see here, I got my binding. I'm using my binding as a guide. So I'm just going to lay it on top of there like this, okay? On the edge of it for my 1/2 inch. All right. Okay, so let me get this right. All right, so now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take this to my machine here, and I'm going to do a stretch stitch, okay? I am going to do my stretch stitch probably, I'm going to probably pick one of these little cover stitch lines, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do, I am going to pick like this cover stitch line right here, okay? Just cover, like, sew on top of it, all right? The one that's closest to the to the front part here, okay? That's what I'm gonna do. All right, it may not be perfect, but it's fine. But just do a long straight stitch or whatever. But, or you can just choose out. It doesn't matter to me. I just figure out you choose either one of them. But I believe probably the one closest to the side is gonna be your best bet, okay? And then I also will sew here where this connect just a little bit, like just sew along that part so that it won't like flap open. All right, so let's do that and I'll be back. Well, I'm gonna put this to the side, and while I'm over there doing that, grab your waistband, and we're gonna put our waistbands folded with the short ends together. Pin, and we're gonna do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I'll be back to attach. Okay, so I have attached my front, excuse me, short piece to my back. All right. Oh, so this is another thing I didn't do, but I saw that, you know, I probably should have, was on my sides, on my fronts, well, my back side, I probably should have serged it, but like I said, it doesn't fray, so it doesn't matter. But I would do that next time. All right, so if I can be completely honest with y'all, truth moment. All right, if you looked really close to my stitches here, it's trash, like straight up trash. My top stitching game is whack. Okay, so I always like to stitch from the back. I can't stand top stitching. I hate it because I can never get my stuff in line. Like, do I need to stick some glue on that song or what? But, you know, I'm self-taught. And yeah, this is something I have to work on. If I'm, you know, I guess if I want to do this stuff professionally, I don't, but it is what it is. But it's a truth moment. All right, so I got my waistband here already sewn. Let's open it up. Put them sides together like that. All right, and you go ahead and quarter it off. Hold on. All right, make sure this is okay. All right, we'll go ahead and quarter it off. Yeah. That's it. Boom, like that. Put this to the side real quick. Match that up. Boom. All right. Cool. All right, bring in our waistband. I mean our shorts here. We're gonna put these right sides together. Okay, this is my back, and I'm going to put it. Here's my back, so I'm going to put it back here, just like this. And these are my sides, so I'm going to attach my sides. And my front. All right, I'm gonna slightly stretch this waistband out a little bit, you know, just to attach. But I will take this to my sewing machine and I will sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around, and I'll serge off my raw end. And just like that, we are done. This is so cute. Let me bring in the top. How cute is this? Like, this is so adorable with the top. Oh, hold on. Bring it out a little bit. Look at that. Now that is so cute. I cannot wait to see mine with this on. Alright. So if you like this video, click the like button. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. This is Jessica with Miley Made Me Do It. And click that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. And see ya.